This handle, I'm not a big fan of the colored woods. I'd rather, personally, would prefer to see the natural burl. But the request I got was to refinish this handle, and hopefully you can see the outer coating is peeling off. So what I plan to do is sand this down, try to keep the octagonal 8-sided, and be very careful. I'm going to try to start with a 400 grit, and we're just trying to remove the outside. I'm actually going to try to maybe leave a little bit of the green coming through, and then once we get it, I'll use some boiled linseed oil or tung oil and try to give this thing a fresh coating. Let's see what we can do. I just thought I'd bring you along and we'll give it a shot. Main thing I'm very concerned about is I don't want to catch the edge of the blade into a belt, so I'll be going edge trailing. Going to use the flat surface. Coming through. Honestly, I'm tempted to go I like the finish, but I feel like I'm not quite getting through as quick as I would like to. Let's drop it down 1 belt grit. Let's try the coarser grit Trizac. I really just don't want to get into the Cubitrons. I could do with a Cubitron P120 or P180. Let's try this one first. So this should be quite a bit more aggressive. Oh yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, let's try the back facet. You can see the multiple levels. This is actually the outer level. Weird. Okay. That looks like that's coming together nice. If I was giving advice, I would say the main thing is I'm making sure to lay it down flat. I'm moving with a consistent speed and a light pressure. I just want to come right through here. Nice. I'm going to leave just that little bit of green in there for now. It does look like we got a little double bevel going here. Now we got a single bevel. Good. Okay, so we're clean on that side. I'm just taking it one side at a time. I'm going to move the belt over to the edge. And then I'm always looking for my clearances before I come in. Okay. A little bit on the far edge, so we're going to lay it down and lean in a little more. Nice. So far so good. I'm really feeling to make sure that I'm keeping it flat. Even though there's a little more pressure on this side, I'll lay it flat and then I'll lean back on it just a little bit. When I say lean back, I mean literally while I'm holding it, I push to the back in this case. So first you get it flat. There we go. You can actually see, well, maybe not show up on camera, but I can see where there's some irregularities from the previous grind. So we're really getting this thing with some nice crisp edges. So those are the easy ones. Let's do this one. I'll move the belt back to the other side. Okay, pretty even. Looking good. Got some up here, a little bit here and here. I think belts get a bad rap because they can be so aggressive. But if you take your time and hold steady and let the belt do the work, so it's at the back here. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to hit a little bit more right there. Hey there. Okay, resuming. I've got the 4 primary bevels ground in, and now we're going to go to the facets. Facets are tricky because you want to hit that angle right. So I'm always going to keep the knife itself at an edge trailing direction. So I would never be sharpening a facet like this because if it hit, it would fly it. So what I want to do though is I want to actually feel, while the belt's off, where, so the actual bevel angle's right there. So I can lock in on that. Click, click. It's right there. Yep, there we go. A little bit of green right there. Nice. I think I'm just going to repeat that same process for the next bevel as well. And these corner bevels, the 4 main flats aren't as critical, but by putting the same amount of time and pressure on each of the corners, then you'll get symmetrical bevel angles as well. So there's the edge angle on the right there. Yep. Perfect. This is going to be one of those situations where less is more too. I'm going to trust my instincts. And now I'm going to move the belt back over to the other side. Okay, then we're going to set it. Find that angle. It's right there. It's matching the flatness here too. Perfect. Over time, you can get a feel for the object on the belt. You can literally feel it be flat or slightly not flat. Yeah, you can see where it's a little rounded up in here. This is from the previous sanding. Maybe we will Scotch-Brite to match. Okay, and then we got one more to do right here. Okay, I'm comfortable enough at this point. Yep. I'm going to lean it back just a little bit more. Clean, clean. The edges still has a little bit of the green on it. Right here, this one needs a little more work. I'm gonna go move the belt again. I'm just taking my time. Perfect. Okay. So my choice at this point is going to be to go to a blue Scotch-Brite, which is a fine grit Scotch-Brite. So with the fine blue Scotch-Brite, I should be able to remove the corner material that needs it. I'm still going to keep it on the flat, and I'm always going to point the knife away from the direction, but I'm actually going to try and blend a little bit sharp edge right here. So I still want to keep the flats, but I'm also breaking that edge. Very happy. A little bit of color still in the handle. Little voice inside my head saying walk away. And we'll try and bring this over here to a real light so you guys can actually see the finished product. There's still hints of the green in there. And I want to... I'd never expected to get all the green out because some of it's soaked really down deep. But by having just hints of it in there, maybe I'll come right up in here one more little bit right there. And then I'll come back and we'll do the boiled linseed oil dip. I actually almost forgot. Boiled linseed oil I do not believe is food safe. And so we're just going to try a little mineral oil. I do have flour oil and other things, but let's just see what a little bit of the boiled I'm sorry, the mineral oil will do. And if it soaks in, now that we've exposed the pores of the wood, and it's food safe, and I think that will be good. I can see it soaking in, and so what we'll do is I'll do several coats, let it soak in. I think you'll be very happy with the result of this. And we did that in about 10 minutes, give or take. So we've got our clean facets, but it feels smooth on the transitions. I could have went further, but again, you start getting into, once you get things out of balance, and then you try to balance them back into position, and you're grinding further and further, you can actually back yourself into a corner by trying to do too much. I'd rather do just a little too little and stop before any mistakes are made. I call it tiptoeing. Do I like the green in there? No. But it can go very deep into this burl. I used to be a redwood burl maker. So I think they'll be happy with that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get on to sharpening the main blade. Maybe look at getting rid of a little bit of the surface corrosion next. I guess we might as well do it while we're standing here. Okay. So I'm just going to take and lightly scuff the surface with this surface eraser. I'm just trying to see if the corrosion comes off, and it is coming off. This very light, I'm not sure if it'll even show up on the camera. There's just very light pitting, and I removed it right there. So we'll just give this thing a light sanding. Beautiful. This will give this a fresh, clean appearance without making it look like you removed all the history and everything from the knife. There we go. Hopefully that's kind of showing up on the camera. There's a little bit of pitting right there. And then boom. We're just lightly scrubbing away some of that very, very minor surface corrosion, but leaving the natural patina. Okay, again, you gotta know when to stop. I keep seeing little spots. If you go too far, then you're gonna start making little shiny spots on the surface, and then the gig is up. Okay. Now, onto the sharpening. This edge doesn't have any major damage to it. Got like a little ding right there. So we're just going to put a 15-degree bevel on. You can say what you will. I really appreciate the precision of the angle guide. I get it. Some people are whetstone guys, and some people enjoy the guided clamp systems. I came from a clamp system, and I always appreciated perfectly symmetrical bevels. And all we did was we just changed those slight variations and made them into a clean, crisp bevel. And then you stop. You don't have to grind away half the knife. That was a 120 grit to reset the bevel. And then just a couple clean passes right here are going to refine the scratch pattern on that tiny, tiny little apex bevel. This is a Trizac A30, which is about 600 grit. Now at this point, you could do a couple different ways depending on the type of bite you're looking for. I do have the leather belt back on, so we'll just use the leather. Similar to how we faceted the handle, I'm visualizing that bevel angle in my mind as I lay this down, even though the bevel's only that tiny. And I'm not pushing hard. And that right there is popping sharp, and it still has a little bit of drag to it. The leather polishes quicker than the felt for sure. So you got a needlepoint tip, very tiny, symmetrical 15-degree bevel. We've removed but light tarnish, and then we've re-polished the handle, and I can see the oils are already soaked in, so we'll give it one final soak, and then we'll let that hang out. And if we want to go from there, we can do some different things for him later on. Maybe put a food grade. I think tongue oil is food safe. I always forget. We don't do a lot of restoration handles anymore, but it's always fun to do something different, and I think they'll be really happy with that. So thanks you guys for watching and coming along. Hopefully this gave you guys some ideas. I'll oil this as well, so we'll get it fully oiled up. And again, I appreciate you guys. I got one more to do, and this one's got a bad chip in it, so we are going to have to do a little surgery. Maybe I'll demonstrate how I would do that on a 1x30 for the next video. Make it a short. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe if you can. If you need anything, please go to shop.currycustomcutlery.com. Have a great day. Aloha. Hey!